What if Deku had Gaara's powers? Sand defense, crushing offense, how would it change his path? Well, since the day I left my hometown, things couldn't have gone better for me. Now I'm 12, I'm going to school tomorrow, I start my first day, I have a good job selling my figures, and it took me 3 years, but I finally finished my cabin. POV Izuku. Well, since the day I left my hometown, things couldn't have gone better for me. Now I'm 12, I'm going to school tomorrow, I start my first day, I have a good job selling my figures, and it took me 3 years, but I finally finished my cabin. 23. Yes, 3 years of hard work. I was also training because hunters came to the forest and I could not allow them to harm the animals. I still remember the first day they appeared, I was just 9 years old. Flashback. I could be seen a little sweaty but happy. I was almost finished with my cabin in this peaceful place, but something interrupted my tranquility. Boom. A shot. I thought after that I approached the place to see a group of 5 people with guns in hand. Hunter 1: damn, I almost got him frustrated. Hunter 2, there is no escape now from that damn fucking bear, walking to the cave where the bear hid. Hunter 4, lying down, how boring, he kills the bear cubs, they are worth a fortune. Hunter 2 was about to enter the frightened bear's cave, but before he could do anything, a handful of sand sent him flying backwards. What do you think you're doing, you damn people? You can't hunt in this place, I said, already very angry, but I tried not to show it. Remember that she has red freckles. Hunter 1, go to hell, brat, you better get out of here, if not who? He fell silent when he saw the giant fist of sand that headed towards him. The fist of sand hit him squarely, sending him flying and becoming unconscious. Hunter 2, damn brat, activating his wooden arms quirk. Hunter 3, this brat is already dead, activating his weapon. Hunter 4,5: high, preparing his weapons. The remaining hunters fired at Izuku, but he raised a wall of sand and blocked all the bullets effortlessly. Never come back to this sand tsunami place again. That tsunami sent Iso to knock all hunters out of the forest. When I saw this, I arranged all the sand and called the police. Obviously, I didn't tell them to use my quirk since it is still illegal. End of flashback. Since that day I trained because I became fond of the animals of the forest, and I realized that I do not need much effort to learn in any type of fight and strategy. I am what they call a prodigy. Obviously this does not matter much to me since I do not want to be a hero, I just want to study and continue selling my sculptures. Almost all of Tokyo knows me for my work. That makes me a little happy since people recognize my effort. But since I am going to sleep, tomorrow is my first day of high school, I think I am nervous since there can be good people as well as bad ones. Narrator POV and Izuku could be seen wearing his school uniform, a red backpack with a stuffed bear on a zipper. He was ready to start his first day. I forgot to say that Endeavor is a good father, but Todoroki still has the scar, but it is from birth and his attitude is cheerful. Izuku walked calmly thinking about his business until he collided with a black-haired girl with a well-developed body for her age. Izuku, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you where I was going. He understands the girl's hand. Momo, don't worry, grabs Izuku's hand and stands up. Hey, you go to my same school, seeing Izuku with his same uniform. Izuku, well, it seems that way, calm down. Momo, come with me since we're on the same path, smiles. Izuku, sounds good to me, shrugs. On the way the two talked about trivial things, their names, aspirations, until they were about to reach their school. Momo, hey Izuku, why don't you have a last name? Doubtful. Izuku, you see, I don't have parents and I come from a village very far from here. Calm. Momo, oh, I'm sorry for asking like that, embarrassed. And what's your quirk? Izuku, my quirk allows me to create and control sand at will. It also serves as regeneration and protection. Not even I could harm myself. He said simply. Momo, amazed, that's incredible. Izuku, hee, that's enough about me. After school we'll talk about you because I think we're friends. No, doubtful. Momo, yes, happy. After that, the two entered their school, which was huge, and Momo was surprised that Izuku was in the same class as her, because if he was, it was because he was an elite. When they entered their class there was no one interesting, just a bicolor that Momo recognized as her cousin. Momo, hello Shoto-kun, waving. Shoto, hi Momo, happy. Who is he? Pointing to Izuku, who was sitting with his eyes closed. Momo, his name is Izuku, he's a great person, you should meet him, smiles. Shoto, he must be a good guy, thinking, he has a really cool scar, maybe he's my friend Scar, I thought happily. After that, the teacher came in and introduced himself to his class and carried them out. The topics he taught were extremely easy for Izuku, so Asia did it without any problem. Time skip break. And Izuku could be seen eating mud calmly until his new friend appears with a two-colored boy. Momo, hi Izuku, do you mind if we sit down? With a smile. Izuku, of course I don't see why not eating. Momo and Todoroki sat down and the next one to speak was Todoroki. Todoroki, why your friend your scar is super happy. Izuku, hee hee, thanks yours is great too, calm down, you are the son of Endeavor, right, with a hand on his chin. Todoroki, yes, he said proudly. Momo, hee hee, hey Izuku, you work doubtful about that because if Izuku didn't have parents he had to work, right? Izuku, well, yes, at first it was difficult, but now I'm proud of my work, with a smile. Todoroki, wow, what are you doing bro, still with the doubt? Izuku, some of you know the figure artist Yamato, both nod, well that's my artist name, keeps eating. Todoroki / Momo, what? Predicted. Momo, my dad has millions of your figures in our garden. Todoroki, my mom buys your figures like crazy, my dad once burned one by accident and my mom almost cut off his arm. I made a cool reference with what Todoroki said, let's see if anyone understands a greater than _ less than. After that everyone went back to class, the trio of friends talking normal classes, everything went well, but when classes ended Izuku had to say goodbye to his friends. Izuku, walking, today was a good day, I have new friends and classes are easy, yes definitely my life is going well, although I think I will have to separate from them when I finish high school, they want to be heroes, I should be one too, so why would it be very stressful to be one, but just in case I will not neglect my training. Izuku did not realize that he had already arrived home. The redhead's day went relatively well, but what awaits him in the future? Will he be a hero? POV Izuku. Hi, it's me Izuku. It's been 4 years since I've been with Todoroki and Momo. Now I turned 16. I haven't had any problems with the hunters. In fact, I haven't seen them since I was 14. My business is more famous not only in Tokyo but in Japan. Now you'll think I have a super mansion. Well, it's not like that. The only thing I changed was that I bought some modern things and nothing else. I consider myself a simple person and bragging wouldn't be my thing. Also Momo blushes a lot every time we talk alone, it's weird, but at my school I'm considered stronger since I beat everyone in consecutive fights with quirks. If that day the school gave permission to use them, hee everyone thought that my friend Shoto was going to win. I felt good for a strange reason, I think I'm very competitive, but other things are the rejections. I have to reject many girls in my school, honestly I don't know what love is, so I can't reciprocate the feelings they feel. I decided that I will go to the UA but in general courses since I don't care about being a hero, I just want the university degree. There are 10 months left for the exam, but I think I don't care since Shoto and Momo will be recommended. Narrator POV, the trio of friends could be seen chatting calmly until Momo asked Todoroki something that left him blank. Momo, hey Todoroki, your mom keeps buying Izuku's sculptures, with an elegant tone. Izuku, I still don't know why you talk like that when I'm around. Calm. Momo, damn, Momo, she doesn't realize you're stupid, now she'll think you're getting big or weird. Todoroki, answering your question, Momo blushes, I'm sending a photo of myself when I was a baby so they can make a sculpture. Izuku, I already knew that I knew that boy, don't worry, tomorrow I'll send him the sculpture and I'll return the photo too, calmly, but inside he was laughing. After that the trio arrived at the living room and when they entered they all greeted each other and the girls blushed when they saw Izuku. Momo became jealous when she saw this and went to sit down. Filler student, hey Izuku, I always wondered why you carry that fucking bear in your backpack, grabs the bear. At that moment the atmosphere felt heavy and the entire room was dyed black and the only thing that could be seen was an Izuku with the figure of a giant raccoon behind it. The boy was so scared that he let go of the bear and fell backwards, but at that moment the teacher came in. Teacher, but what is happening here? Upset because a murderous intent was felt throughout the school. All nothing scared. Momo and Todoroki were a little surprised and scared because they already knew Izuku's story and what that bear means to him, and they were surprised because that sand raccoon could clearly be seen. Time skip. After classes Momo / Izuku / Todoroki were discussing which house they were going to do the group work in, and as always Izuku won. Izuku was returning home but he sees something that made him let out a sigh of heaviness. He saw a villain pass in front of some girls. He was about to hit them but a sand wrapped around his arm. Gigantomachia, but what? The sand lifted him into the sky, made him spin around a few times, and finally threw him to the ground a few meters away. Izuku, they're fine Takwilo. Girls, hey nervous. Izuku, go away, this isn't over yet, takes out his backpack. The girls run out of there scared while Gigantomachia gets up. Gigantomachia, you are a strong brat, takes off his cape, but I am stronger. Izuku, say what you want, I'm not interested in pose. Gigantomachia lunged at Izuku but he dodged it easily. The giant continued to strike desperately but Izuku dodged everything until at one point he got fed up. Gigantomachia gave a punch that so that his fist got stuck in the cement. Izuku turned his hand into giant claws to give him a punch in the chin that sent Gigantomachia flying. Izuku jumped and gave him a hammer stop that embedded him in the ground. Gigantomachia got up as best he could but when he looked up all he saw was this. Gigantomachia was absorbed by the tsunami leaving him unconscious. People nearby were surprised by this but no one noticed that a girl with pink hair recorded and uploaded the fight. After the fight they congratulated and scolded Izuku but all they did was give him a fine of 1,000 yen which Izuku paid immediately and went back to the road to go home. Izuku, what an annoying guy, I really don't know why people with such powerful quirks are so stupid, annoyed. But at that moment a black-haired boy spoke to Izuku. Hey, you're the one who defeated that villain tired because he had to run to tire him out. Izuku, yes, who are you? Calm down. Kirishima, my name is Kirishima and I wanted to ask you, how do you do it? Izuku, how do I do that? Confused. Kirishima, you didn't hesitate to help those people like you did, how could you not be afraid of failure about to break? Izuku, you want to be a hero, right? Kirishima nods. Then train until your limits are broken, just like that again and again and again until the fear in you disappears. It doesn't matter the quirk, it's the spirit turns around. If your spirit is strong, you will become great, go into danger without hesitation. Leaves. Kirishima only looked at him for a moment and then smiled, showing his shark teeth, turning around and returning home with a new goal, becoming a great hero. Time skip. Izuku arrived at the entrance of the forest seeing that Todoroki and Momo were sitting waiting since he had to do the work. Izuku, arriving, I'm sorry I got lost on the path of life. Calm down. Todoroki, calm down, we saw the fight you had, it was great. Smiling. Momo, you never told us you could convert parts of your body. Doubtful. Izuku, sighs, it's something I learned when I was training. We're already doing the homework. I'm still a little angry about what happened at school. Momo/Todoroki, okay. After that the trio of friends spent their time doing their project for school and it was fairly easy, thanks to Izuku's intelligence. Now we find the three of them leaving the house so they can go to their houses. Momo, hey, Todoroki is waiting for me outside the ship. I want to talk to Izuku about something. Serious. Todoroki, okay, I'll wait for you. Leaves. Izuku, what do you need, Momo? Calm down. Momo, I know you're still angry but you know I support you in whatever you want to do, Sore, but don't do something crazy. Izuku, surprised, thanks Momo, sorry. Momo, blushes by Izuku, we'll see you on Monday, gives him a kiss on the cheek and runs away. While the redhead's mind was a mess. Izuku, she kissed me but it felt good. What is this that I feel? No, she is my friend, smiles sideways, hee, I think I will try to find out more about this that I feel in my chest, with a small red tint on his cheeks. While Momo had already arrived at Todoroki's. Momo, let's go. Todoroki, normal already. Todoroki, he's already your boyfriend waiting for a yes. Momo, no, I'm not ready yet, and I don't know if he feels the same way, somewhat sad at the end. Todoroki, since we're going, but did you at least give him a kiss? Doubtful. Momo, what are you talking about? No way. Turns her head so I don't see her blush. Todoroki Mshaspeshoto with one hand on his chin. POV Izuku. Well, since that day nothing interesting has happened. I was only with Momo and Todoroki the last thing we had left of school, and that feeling that I have like that Momo is very strange. It's like a tranquility where it's just you and her. But I think I didn't have to worry that much. Momo and Todoroki were able to enter the 1A course. I went to general studies and although it was difficult for me, I made a friend named Shinsu. At first he hated me for my quirk, but then we got to know each other and now we're like the peers of the course. In 3 days the sports festival will take place where they give us the opportunity to enter the hero course. That doesn't matter to me, but I think I'm going to help Shinsu get through. I almost forgot. A week ago they attacked Momo's class. I admit that I got angry and mentally hit myself for not being there. But at least nothing happened to them, neither to Momo nor Shoto. Although I don't say it much, I have a great fear of losing my friends. POV Momo. In the first month I already attacked villains, although I was afraid I didn't have to show it. That wouldn't make me a good vice president, but what bothers me is Izumi. Izumi, thanks to having pyrokinesis, became arrogant and somewhat explosive in Bakugo as a deku, thanks to Izumi's constant blows telling him that the explosion quirk is only for a villain, so he is a deku but a Muslim. She always bothers Bakugo, but those of us in the class support him. I don't know why he is like that, just because of a quirk that surely many people have apart from her, but my other classmates are good. Melissa Yagi, you can tell she is a good girl. But I wish Izuku was in the class mostly to teach Izumi a lesson. Narrator POV. We can see all the classes surrounding Class 1A, but there in almost the front row was everyone's favorite redhead and Shinsu, seeing why so much noise. Todoroki, opening the door to his class. But what? Bakugo, what are all the classes doing here? Nervous. Izumi, it's not obvious, you idiot, they are analyzing the competition, with an annoyed tone. Shinsu was going to jump to challenge Izumi but is stopped by Izuku, who looks at him with trusting eyes. Shinsu saw that look, smiled and walked back. Izuku walked towards Izumi. Everyone who saw him recognized him as the boy who faced the giant villain because the video was viral. Izuku, what's your name, broccoli head? With his calm tone and his gaze. Izumi, my name is Izumi without eyebrows, and you better respect me since I will win the destiny. Angry. Izuku, I only see a smug brat with green fire. What stupidity, you can't even evolve it, that's pathetic. Calm down. Izumi, she remained silent because it was true that her fire was more powerful than the common one, but she could not evolve it. How the hell did she know? Izuku, it's obvious from afar, you know, I know and fought with people who had the same quirk as you but improved. Turns around, I will defeat you. Izumi leaves from there with Shinsu. The green-haired girl returns to her course annoyed, while Momo and Todoroki smiled, since if they counted Izuku's abilities and quirks, he could easily win the festival. Kirishima watched him leave with admiration because that boy lifted his spirits and it would be great to have him as a partner or friend. While you could see a blonde with a black lock of hair thinking something. Denki, hee, it seems your life has improved, my friend, I hope you enter my course, smiles. While Izuku and Shinsu walked to their course. Shinsu, I thought you didn't want to be a hero, with his tired tone. Izuku, maybe so, but that girl doesn't have the slightest idea what humiliation is. I'll prove it to her in front of millions of cameras watching her. Relax. Shinsu, it's the first time I see you like this, please tell me this isn't personal. Tired. Izuku, that girl made me remember the damn villagers, I won't let it go that easily, that ashen-haired boy obviously suffered because of her, upset not like you think, my friend, it's just a competition, calm down. Shinsu, you can fool half the world but not me, but you know I support you. I also don't keep quiet. That girl tired but puts a smile on his face because he knows what's coming. After that little chat, the two entered their classroom and were in class until they finished. And Izuku could be seen sitting on the UA bench drinking a juice waiting for his friends. Todoroki, hey Izuku. Waving from afar. Izuku turned his head to receive a strong hug from Momo, who buried him in her chest. Momo, hugging him, I knew you were going to be a hero, we have to celebrate, let's go. Izuku, taking a breath, okay, but that was necessary. Momo blushes, besides who said he was already in his class already, with his typical tone. Todoroki, you are stronger than an entire elite school together and you defeated a weak S-rank villain, aren't you? Smiling. Izuku, okay, I accept. Let's go eat something. I've been waiting here sitting for a while. Lifts his backpack. Momo/Todoroki, hi, happy. After that the three of them talked happily except for Izuku. He was a quiet boy who was very difficult to make laugh. The friends gave them something to eat so that the minutes became hours and then they had to go home. Time skip. POV Izuku. These 3 days passed quickly and I'm glad about it. I'm anxious for the time to come to fight with Izumi. If it happens, maybe there will be someone stronger than her. I don't know really. Everything is the same as the anime except that the speech is given by Izumi, but now we are not going to where the obstacle course is about to begin. Narrator POV. Everyone was waiting for the midnight signal to start the race, but our redhead was thinking. Izuku, the whole field is made of sand, smiles, this will be very interesting. Midnight, ready. And, out waves the starting flag. Everyone waited for Todoroki to run, he was going to freeze the ground, but before that he knew how a blur of speed passed in front of everyone, leaving a trail of sand. The cameras pointed at the responsible to see an Izuku running in a strange way. Izuku without any problem passed the first part of the race, leaving his rivals far behind, but the thing does not end as robots of all sizes began to get up. Izuku reduced his speed and said, Izuku, stampede. The sand of the battlefield took a slight movement and then we saw how sand sharks began to jump, destroying robots everywhere. Literally a massacre was being prepared by the only one. Then 2-0. Izuku started to get up. Seeing them, the only thing Iso did was take a big jump propelled by his sand to stay on top of the robots and say, Izuku, sand rain. With that said, half of the field was interrupted by Izuku's sand that began to form stakes that went straight to the 0 points, destroying them. Izuku fell gracefully to start running again at a faster speed than before. Everyone was impressed by Izuku's skill, and when the other participants arrived at the robot arena, all they could see were sand-covered circuits and destroyed or halved robots. While Izuku reached the next hole, it was a giant hole. Izuku smiled when he saw this and wanted to put his hands on the floor. People were expecting it to do something cool, but they never expected to see it. Fly? Izuku made a sand circle under his feet to use it to fly over the minefield at high speed, and so time passed until he reached the minefield, but all he had to do was fly over it and that was it. But he came up with a joke. Izuku, I don't think anyone will notice if I play a little joke, smiles sideways. Izuku stopped dead and turned around to surreptitiously shift the possession mines to one place, and that was the place that Melissa/Todoroki/Izumi/Bakugo were going to step on. Izuku, after finishing, rubs again at high speed, winning the race. Meanwhile with the others. Izumi, come on, I'll win, wanting to get Shoto out of the way. Todoroki, I wish running. Bakugo, just running, he was a little nervous but he didn't show it because of the adrenaline. Melissa, same as Bakugo, only she must have been so nervous she was excited. Izumi, if you say so, Winter, I'm leaving. She said to expel a large amount of green flames and moving forward. Ha ha ha, it wasn't that they were going to ga. She remained silent, having stepped on all the mines. Boom. Izuku, jaja, he laughed internally but he didn't show it on the outside. Time skip. Winner's table. 1 Izuku. 2 Todoroki. 3 Bakugo. 4 Melissa. 5 Denki. 6 Izumi. After they gave the midnight back, it appears so that the next, which is midnight, cavalry battles. After this they began to say the amounts of points, where everyone looked at Izuku since he had 1,000,000 points. Izuku did not do anything, and as expected, no one became his partner, but this did not matter to him, it was more of an advantage. The teams were already formed, the only one who was going to do it alone was Izuku. Midnight, okay, participants, on your marks. Everyone gets ready to throw themselves at Izuku. Ready? Izuku still had his arms crossed. Out. Absolutely all the teams attacked Izuku. All he did was lock himself in a sand dome. Seeing this, everyone threw their strongest attacks, but it was useless. The dome didn't even move because it was cracked. Everyone sighed and fought each other for points. Meanwhile Izuku, being here was the best option. I can't believe I'm saying this, but being alone was better. It would have been very difficult to do this with a team, he thought, relieved. Time skip. Midnight ended the spell, and as soon as he said it, Izuku came out unharmed and without any fatigue from the dome. This impressed everyone and angered a green-haired girl. Izuku wiped the sand off his clothes and left, as he knew the curse that was coming now. Cavalry battle table. 1 Izuku. 2 Team Todoroki. 3 Team Melissa. 4 Team Bakugo. 5 Team Izumi. Last place Team Shinsu. Midnight, very well. Now the moment that we were all waiting for, the people start to make noise, the 1 vs 1 battles. Now that all the people were exploding with excitement. After that they were given 30 minutes to recover from the previous test. Izuku was sitting with his eyes closed waiting for the broiba to start, but someone called him from behind. Hello Izuku, long time no. Smiles. Izuku opened his eyes but they went blank to see who it was. That was the first person who helped him, the first one with whom he could form a very small but strong friendship. Izuku, Denki. Gets up from the chair. What are you doing here? Ho, wait, do you study here? He tried to sound calm but the excitement got the better of him. Denki, ho, slow down. Speedster laughs a little. Izuku, embarrassed, sorry but it's good to see you again, sorry. Denki, same here, friend. The alarm sounds, then tell me how your life went. Now we have to go see who will fight. Smiles. Izuku, hee okay, calm. I didn't see that coming, finding your first friend in a place like this, that's weird, but I'm glad. I don't even care about winning the festival, but if I want to be in the Momo and Denki Hall I need first place. If before I wasn't sure, now I have the need to be in that hall. POV Momo. Izuku told me that he was going to try hard to get into my classroom. I know he will succeed but I feel nervous about what might happen. Although I am surprised that Izuku passed the tests with such ease, then he comes to say that he is going to try hard. It is strange but I really want him to be there. I have been wanting to accept my feelings for Izuku for a long time, but it seems that he does not feel the same. But I won't give up. Narrator POV. It could be seen how those who had passed the previous spell were attentive to see who they would face. Midnight, good, your battles will be presses a button. The giant television began to display names and images of the students randomly, and the first ones were Izuku vs Izumi, Bakugo vs Tokoyami, Kirishima vs Tetsu, Momo vs Denki, Shinsu vs Lita, Mei vs Uraka, Sero vs Ibara, Todoroki vs Melissa. Everyone saw their fights and got excited, and Izuku smiled because he was the first to fight right next to the green-haired girl. She had an arrogant smile on her face, but inside she was a little nervous about facing the one who showed great power. I forgot to say Kirishima/Denki/Shinsu are stronger than him in the anime, since I see a lot of potential in these characters, and Melissa controls the full force at 15%. Time skip. Everyone was excited, one of the strongest in Class 1A versus the one who showed pure talent in each of the fights. Midnight, are you ready, people? People start screaming. On one side we have one of the strongest of the 1A who has shown that her fire burns like hell, Izumi Midoriya. At that moment an Izumi enters with an arrogant smile, and on the other side we have someone who has shown to have a natural talent and who has shown that with his power he can turn an entire battlefield around. That's the redhead of the sand, Izuku. An Izuku enters with a calm face and a pumpkin on his back. Remember the 4 red freckles on each cheek. Izuku and Izumi stared at each other while Izuku was in a fighting stance and Izuku had his arms crossed. The tension was felt until midnight began. Izumi threw a giant flame loaded with the fury that she had been having towards Izuku. When he saw such a flame, he did nothing. When the flame was about to hit him, a sand came out of the ground and ate the fire. Izumi was surprised when she saw this, since it was one of her strongest attacks, and Izuku evaded it as if nothing had happened. This one would start throwing fireballs like crazy, but the sand kept swallowing them. Izuku, it's my turn. Starting to take the sand out of the pumpkin. Izuku put his sand around his body to start throwing sand at Izumi. Izumi tried to evade them, but she couldn't. They were too fast, plus there were too many of them coming at the same time. Izumi was overwhelmed with each bullet that hit her body. Izuku stopped throwing the sand bullets to see how Izumi was injured and barely standing. Izuku, give up, this is pointless. Izumi, I will never give up like this to someone who is weaker than me. Izumi put the little energy she had left and went against Izuku, but when she was going to hit him in the stomach, some sand whips held her all over her body. Izuku, I told you it's pointless now. Izuku with his whips lifted Izumi and slammed her into the ground, fainting her. Midnight. Izuku is the winner of the first battle. The entire audience shouted with excitement to see a little more of Izuku's power. And so they went on. Bakugo's battle was won by him for obvious reasons, since his explosions created light that greatly weakened Tokoyami's quirk. Kirishima's battle was won by him since his battle style was more polished than Tetsu's. Right now it's the fight between Momo and Denki. Momo and Denki got into the ring. Momo created a shield and a bar of non-conductive metal so that Denki's electricity wouldn't hit him, and he just got into a battle position. Midnight start. The first to attack was Momo, who was launched into a short fight against Kaminari, who also launched himself against her, and thus began a battle of clean punches that was until Momo hit Denki with the bar. He stepped back and it was there that he saw an opening in Momo's defense. He charged a powerful shock punch with his fist that he was able to connect, leaving Momo paralyzed by the electricity in her nerves. Kaminari was agitated as Momo hit him much more than the spent energies of his electricity, but he had won. Midnight, the winner is Denki Kaminari. Izuku, apparently Denki's quirk is electricity. It's a good quirk and he uses it well. I see he didn't sit back and do nothing. Smile. After that they went to Momo to calm her nerves. Obviously Izuku went to see her. Izuku, knocking on the door. Hey Momo, can I come in? Momo, so it happens. After that Izuku passed. Izuku, what's wrong? You're not as happy as usual. Worried. Momo, Izuku, this one looks at her. I'm useless. Izuku is surprised I couldn't even pass the first round. Everyone tried hard to be here, but I got in just like that. Even you try hard to be in my class, about to break down. Izuku hugs her. You are no longer useless. You are strong, intelligent, and you give charisma wherever you want. You are the vice president of the class because they believe that you would do better, so never say that you are useless, okay? Momo, hi, wiping away the few tears she had. Thanks Izuku, I think she needed it. Smiles. Izuku, you're welcome. Separates from the hug and stands in front of her. The two stared at each other. Time seemed to stop. They were slowly bringing their faces closer without realizing it, and when their lips were about to connect. Shinsu, Slams the door open. Izuku beat Ida. Sees the scene. Oops, sorry, I'm not interrupting you, but you have to see the next fight. Izuku leaves. Izuku quickly moved away from Momo, somewhat red. Izuku, I'm sorry. Momo moving his hands nervously. Momo, you're welcome. Red, you see, you need to see the fights. Izuku quickly leaves the room, leaving a thoughtful Momo. Izuku/Momo, what was about to happen? Izuku had arrived at the stands again to see a tired-looking Shinsu. Izuku, can you bring me up to date? Calm but a strange reason for wanting to kill his friend. Shinsu. Okay, Mei gave up. Apparently she just wanted to show off her inventions. The next fight she won. Ibara has a very good quirk in her hair, and now the son of Endeavor are about to fight with All Might. Tired. Izuku, this is going to be interesting. Calm. While in the stands you could see an effort with a shirt that said Shato and All Might with one that said Let's Go Melissa Shonen. While these two came out to the ring to get into a fighting pose, Melissa activated the full call when Shoto her two sides. Midnight start. Todoroki was the first to start throwing ice stakes, but Melissa was very agile and dodged everything with only a little difficulty. Upon seeing this, Todoroki began to throw flames that Melissa could not dodge, hitting her full on. Melissa stepped back but quickly got into position and jumped, thus Todoroki punched her in the stomach. Todoroki was sent flying backwards and had to use an ice column to stay in the ring. Melissa, the next hit will be the last, she said, charging the one for all as much as she could. Todoroki, I won't give up either. Charging both sides. The teachers tried to stop those two, but it was impossible. Boom. That's right, the two of them bumped fists, raising a large amount of dust, and you could see Todoroki embedded in the wall with his shirt torn and in the middle of a large crater. A Melissa with her sleeve torn, but you could see a slight purple tone, not so much worse, it was noticeable. Midnight. Melissa Yagi is the winner. The audience exploded with excitement at seeing such a fight, and then they took Melissa and Todoroki to the infirmary and only said that they were unconscious. Izuku was impressed by Melissa's quirk but smiled knowing that his friend gave his all while Endeavor paid a lot of bills to his best friend All Might. Midnight, the first rounds are already concluded, it's time to see the semifinals, he said to press a button and the screen selects again. Semifinals. Kirishima vs Bakugo. Denki vs Shinsu. Ibara vs Uraka. Izuku vs Melissa. Everyone saw the screen and got excited while the others were preparing as they gave 1 hour of rest while Endeavor and All Might. Endeavor, I bet 3 times that the redhead will win the festival. Confident. All Might, I accept the bet. Shakes hand with Endeavor. POV Izuku. I didn't think Todoroki would lose. That girl is strong and fast. I'll have to be careful when I face her, but she gets hurt. Maybe no one has noticed, but she hurts herself when she uses it. That is strange, but since the fights are going to be good, at least. Melissa's POV. Because of all the opponents I have, he is a beast in combat. There is no weak point in his defense, and I don't know if he knows how to fight. Maybe not. If so, I will have to attack closely, but that arena defends him, and if he knows how to fight, I don't want to get down on myself, but he will beat me. Narrator POV. The fighters were in a place in the special stands to better see the fights and learn more about their perhaps future opponents in this festival. Midnight, thank you all for waiting. Everyone start celebrating now. Let the semifinals begin. Bakugo and Kirishima climbed into Rin, but we all know how this is going to end. Although Bakugo couldn't move Kirishima that much because of his hardening, he damaged and exhausted Kirishima. Kirishima had a good fighting style, but Bakugo's destructive force was beyond him, so the defeat was due to Rin's exit. It was almost like the anime, Don't Kid Me. Izuku wasn't surprised by the result as it was almost obvious, but he felt good seeing the boys' effort. The next battle was 50-50 for Izuku, but I had to see this. After Bakugo's fight, he helped his red-haired friend get up and then left through the gate of the field. And midnight announcement of the electric boy and the purple-haired man. The two of them went up to the field and stared at each other, one bored and the other excited. Midnight start. After saying that, Denki lunged at Shinsu. This ISO was the same, expecting an almost even fight at short range. Denki threw a kick that Shinsu had to use both of his arms, but he didn't expect that kick to come loaded with electricity that paralyzed one of his arms. Shinsu seeing this kicked him in the stomach that sent him backwards. Shinsu, why you are very smart with one of his arms hanging. Denki, carrying a strong current, you won't be able to speak. Shinsu seeing this launched himself against Denki. He avoided a blow to the face, but he didn't expect a sweep from him. Shinsu stood on top of Denki ready to strike, but received an electroshock from Kaminari and was knocked unconscious. Midnight, winner Denki Kaminari. Izuku looked to the side and saw how they took Shinsu away. which made him feel respect for his friend because he had come a long way and it was obvious that he was about to graduate from general classes. Izuku, well done Shinsu, it seems you are going to fulfill your dream of being a hero, smiles. The next fight was not so interesting because Ibara of the B class had won, Uraka had a gravity quirk and Ibara of vines. The only thing Iso was going to do was grab Uraka and throw her out of the field. It's not that I hate Uraka, just let's be honest, Ibara's quirk is somewhat broken. If you read the manga, you'll know that Ibara had much more potential than some of her class A, like Toru or Jiru. But the moment came where Melissa Yagi faced Izuku. Everyone in the field was excited since they hadn't seen the Sand Boy fight for a while. The two went up, Izuku calm and Melissa nervous about the result. Midnight start. Melissa was the first to attack by throwing a smash at Izuku, but he didn't do anything since her sand covered him from the air bullet. Melissa didn't give up and kept trying, but Izuku got fed up. Izuku got into a fighting stance to rush at Melissa. Seeing this, she activated the full blow, but it was too late. Izuku hit her with a blow that sent her backwards. Melissa recomposed herself as best she could and went to hit her with 20%, but her blow was of no use. Izuku's sand grabbed her wrist and then exploded. How had she made the sand cling to her arm and explode? Was the blonde's question as she went to the edge of the track. Izuku isoed a giant fist of sand to throw at Melissa, who upon seeing him used one for all at 100%, making a wind wave, but Izuku's fist had more power and was bigger, sending Melissa flying with her arm broken. Everyone was silent. The daughter of All Might, who is considered one of the young promises, was easily defeated while Izuku, I think I went too far by putting too much energy into that blow, maybe I'll apologize later, regretful. After that they took Melissa to heal her arm while all of her classmates went to the infirmary upon seeing her except Bakugo, who had to fight. Time skip. 30 minutes had already passed and Melissa was already awake. All her classmates were there except Bakugo and Izumi, who had to fight in 20 minutes and Izumi couldn't give a damn. Kirishima, don't worry Melissa, you were great trying to cheer up her friend. Denki, if you also face someone very strong, don't feel bad, it can happen to anyone, smiles. Wait, I have to face Izuku, he got nervous. Melissa, thanks, but I would have liked to get to the final, somewhat depressed. Sato, don't worry, we're at 1 now. I know you'll get very strong. Smiles. Tokoyami, also, you were taken by surprise. Who would have imagined that you could fight so well hand to hand? Seriously. Todoroki, yes, and Izuku is not bad, he is just serious. I know that at any moment he will come to apologize. Smiling and trusting his friend. Momo, don't feel bad, we'll go get some ice cream later, excited. At that moment the door opened, revealing an Izuku without his gourd on his back. Izuku, this is Melissa's room, looks at everyone. Well, I think so, enters. Mina, what do you want? Serious but nervous inside. Izuku, I came to apologize. Everyone except Todoroki, Momo and Denki are surprised. I think I got excited with the fight, so can you please accept my apologies, bowing. Melissa shakes her arms nervously. It's not necessary, it was just a fight and I got excited too, smiles. Izuku, I think so, smiles. Hey Denki, get ready for our fight, calm down and then get out of there. All/Momo/Todoroki/Denki, what a nice guy, smile. After that everyone came back to find out that Bakugo had won, and in 10 minutes it was Denki and Izuku's fight. These two, seeing how much was left, quickly went to prepare. Midnight, okay, the last round of the semifinals is about to begin. Everyone acts like a real bitch on one side, lightning, and on the other, Izuku versus Denki arena. The two enter the ring start. Denki launched currents from a long distance because he knew that it was not a good idea to get too close. Denki not only pulled from one position but moved from all sides to be able to see an opening in Izuku's defense. Izuku was watching Denki's attack pattern until he finally discovered it. Izuku threw sand bullets in the direction where Denki was going to attack without giving him a chance to escape. The bullets hit Denki, leaving him in a bad position. Izuku took advantage of this to do another technique. Izuku, stampede. Having said this, some sharks began to rise from there. Denki shot electricity as best he could, but it vanished when it hit the sand, since the sand was not conductive nor did it have a hook. Denki shot out of Asia the wall, giving Izuku the victory. Midnight, the winner is Izuku. Izuku was about to leave. You want the break? Izuku stops dead. Izuku, if I can finish this, let the next opponent come returning to the ring. Midnight, very well Katsuki. Bakugo, present yourself to the arena, the final will be a continuous battle. Excited. It took 4 minutes for Bakugo to arrive at the ring. Midnight started the battle and no one moved, one in the middle and the other because he was analyzing it. Izuku, why are you nervous? Calm. Bakugo, I think I should I don't finish. Izuku, and show the green girl that she was right. Bakugo sees him. Listen, I know that girl and many other people told you that you couldn't be a hero because you know sometimes you are the one who has to put an end to that. Bakugo is surprised. Tell me, will you stay shaking or will you face me like a hero would and show those people that you are much more than they think? Smiles to give him confidence. Bakugo smiled and then got into a fighting stance. Bakugo, I will be a hero. Izuku smiled at this and took off his pumpkin to put it to the side of the track. Izuku, then face me. Bakugo threw himself down like this, expelled by his explosions. Izuku tried to hold him back with his sand, but Bakugo exploded it and then kicked Izuku, sending him backwards. Everyone was shocked as it was the first time someone had damaged it at the festival. Izuku quickly recovered to go against Bakugo and start a fight that was dominated by Izuku, thanks to his knowledge of ninja fighting. Bakugo threw punches loaded with explosions that Izuku deflected with his wrist. Izuku saw an opening that he took advantage of to kick him back and do one of his best techniques. Izuku, Sand Tsunami. Bakugo saw no way to dodge that, but as he could ISO a strong explosion and the tsunami, but in the end he ended up surrendering to Izuku's technique. Midnight. Izuku wins POOK. People stand. Izuku wins the sports festival. People made a mess of making a PM shout sound like a whisper and All Might giving a lot of money to Endeavor. Izuku, you did well. Katsuki, I know you'll grow up. In the short time I've been seeing you, I know you'll all grow up. Smiles. While in a dark place, a bald man connected to many tubes could be seen sitting in a chair watching television. I see that the Shukaku experiment survived the explosion. This will be interesting to see. Smiles maliciously. POV. Izuku. The festival was good, they gave me a medal, I helped that Bakugo and I met Denki again. Tomorrow I have to go to room 1A and Shinsu could only enter 1B, but that is an achievement since he can fulfill his dream. I don't usually say this, but I think I want to be a hero. Helping those kids at the festival made me feel good, but I won't leave my job or my house or work. The rooms are all ready at the UA and all the students are there but except Izuku. POV. Momo. Izuku told me that he was able to enter our course. Obviously I'm happy, but I also have to concentrate on training. Maybe then Izuku will recognize my effort. I seem like a fangirl, but it's just that I'm very much in love with him. But Izuku was always very complicated. He didn't even want to be in the academy rooms. Narrator. POV. You could see a redhead with freckles and a mark on his forehead walking alone towards the nail. He was deep in thought. Izuku, today is my first day in that class. Even though I'm the strongest, I don't know if they'll like me. I hope that if not I'm very nice, but at least I'll be with some friends. Smiles as he remembers the class members. Maybe it's not that bad, but I'd like that Izumi to respect others a little more, he thought calmly. Izuku walked for a while until he reached the academy to start walking through the halls looking for class 1A. Izuku, 1A 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 1A, until he sees a giant door. I have to wait for the teacher. Opens the door. Everyone was talking quietly in the living room until the door opened. Everyone thought it was Aizawa, but it turned out to be a redhead. Izuku, well, some don't know me, but my name is Izuku, just Izuku, and I hope we don't get along in these years. Calm down. Everyone was relieved as some thought he was arrogant and others thought he was cold. Kirishima, hello, my name is Kirishima Eijiro with a smile. Bakugo, hee, I think you already know me. Smiles a little. Mina, come on, your tattoo is great and my name is Mina. Energetic. Sato, hi, my name is Sato. Excited. Hey, your power is incredible. Izuku, hee son Pogo if not. Smiles sideways. At that moment Wild Aizawa appears. Aizawa, okay kids, now go sit down and we'll talk about your hero names. Tired. Everyone went to sit down except Izuku, who wanted to ask questions. Izuku, why does he say sprouts? Aizawa, because I'm the one who takes care of them, with his kind tone. Izuku, ha, that was all. Goes to look for a seat. Luckily he was behind Momo. Aizawa, okay, I see you already know Izuku, that takes away my introductions, but you know I'm not good with names, so I brought someone to help you. At that moment the door opened showing a Midnight. All the boys except Izuku and Denki were blushing, Izuku because he doesn't care and Denki because he has a girlfriend. Midnight, okay students, I will help you name your heroes. I will give you 30 minutes to decide since in 2 days your internships begin and they need your names. Making everyone excited. Aizawa-kun, have you already chosen your internships? Aizawa, nope, sleeping in his sleeping bag. Midnight, this is going to be a long day size. They went one by one to give their names, the only different names are Bakugo's, which is deku, and Izumi's, fire, and now it was the redhead's turn. Izuku walks over with his board to turn it around and everyone looks at him strangely. Midnight, because gaara would be your hero name Kandundaida. Izuku, I lived in a village where people hated me, I had no family or friends, they constantly tried to kill me and well, to defend myself I had to kill many times, that until I was 6 and I escaped from there. The only thing I liked about that village was a legend, a sand warrior who defended everyone and told his hatred. That's what my mark on my forehead means, a demon who loves himself and defends others, and in the name of this warrior it was Gaara, smiling as he remembers when he heard that story from a villager who told it to his daughter. Everyone was surprised, some girls were crying and the men looked at him with admiration as he told everything he had experienced and continued on the path of good. Midnight, your name sounds good to me, now go sit down and we'll talk about the internship, smiling. Izuku okay, going to his seat. Midnight, well, almost everyone has internships, but there were some that stood out, but don't worry, the school gives you internships so you can go with Heroes Pro, presses a button and the screen starts calculating your internships. Izuku equals 5,000. Bakugo equals 1,234. Melissa equals 1,010. Todoroki equals 1,000. Denki equals 987. Izumi equals 976. Momo equals 956. Everyone was surprised by the number of requests for Izuku since he could have gotten almost all of Japan's heroes to want him. Midnight, I hope you choose wisely, and you, Izuku, will have to choose quickly since you only have. She is interrupted. Izuku, I want to go with a big orca, taking a paper out of the request screen. Midnight, how strange, almost no one ever goes with him, but oh well, smiles. Go to recess and remember to sign your applications for tomorrow by bell rings. Everyone went out to the dining room to enjoy their food. Izuku went to sit alone, but some of his classmates accompanied him. Denki, hello bro, we can't sit with Kirishima, Bakugo, Todoroki. Izuku, I don't see why not, smiles. Ready, we now have the complete as a squad. V. Todoroki, what a shame that Bakugo and Denki don't have scars, discouraged. Bakugo, I don't understand, confused. Kirishima, you see bro, Izuku has a cool scar, Todoroki has it too and I have one too, pointing to his eye with a smile. Denki, I get it now. Discouraged, pass me a knife, Bakugo. Bakugo / Todoroki / Izuku, no. Denki, okay, resigned. The four of them laughed, but they didn't realize that a black-haired girl and her group of friends were watching them. Momo, sighs, I honestly don't know what to do, somewhat sad. Melissa, if you like her, tell her, maybe she feels the same way, trying to cheer up her friend. Momo, I never saw him interested in love, sighs, you have a boyfriend, Jiru, what can I do? Jiru, easy, we lock them both on the school roof and we have it until they confess eating. All / Momo, it's a good idea, giving thumbs up. Momo, it could work, thinking. After that everyone went to their classroom since the break was over. The classes were normal without any difficulties for the redhead until they ended and Izuku had to return home since he did not accept the rooms at the UA. And on the way he was thinking as always. Izuku, yes, the Great Orca was the best option. His internships are somewhat far away but it is worth it. He is a great hero although people do not see him just for his appearance. How racist. Izuku sees the entrance of the forest. Okay, today to sleep and wait for the day to come to leave, enters. Meanwhile in another place. A person could be seen connected to many cables next to a guy with many hands. Tomura, what's so special about that kid? Sensei doubtful. A foe, that boy, although his quirk seems like just sand, it is not. If I get his power I could conquer all of Japan, not the entire world, ha 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 ha, evil laugh. POV Izuku. Today is the day of the internships. In these 2 days I have met everyone in the course. They are good people except for Izumi, who is very arrogant and I could not talk to her, but anyway, changing the subject, today are my internships with Gran Orca. I hope his training is good. He is a top hero, but if Vi is good he must have the level of Endeavor if we have a quirk. My hero suit was delivered to me yesterday and they said I had to take it to the internship. I think it's for the patrol. I hope Bakugo is okay since he has to be with Izumi, but putting that aside, he also has internships with a top hero, and yesterday I found out that Denki had a girlfriend named Jiru. I was happy for him since it's obvious that the two of them have a lot of chemistry. Narrator POV. You could see an Izuku with 2 suitcases, one small and one large for the internship since he had to train and patrol for 2 whole weeks and he needed all that. There were also some of his course also waiting. Izuku, Okay, the train is coming, grabs his things, bye guys. Calm down. Denki/Kirishima, bye bro. Momo, goodbye. Izuku, take care, runs towards him. Izuku, what's up? He fell silent when he saw Momo kiss his cheek. He remained silent when he saw that Momo kissed his cheek. Denki and Kirishima watched this with pride. Momo, for luck, smiles a little red. Izuku, hee hee, thanks. Izuku was alone when he entered the train, but that didn't matter to him. What he did do was focus on getting caught up in his thoughts. Izuku, why is Momo behaving, and more importantly, why do I feel this in my chest? Grabs his chest. It's not that it feels bad, but it leaves me strange even though I want to know what it is I don't know. Closes his eyes to sleep for a while until she arrives. Time skip. An Izuku could be seen in front of a giant apartment. He sighs and starts walking towards the main office that was indicated to him. Some heroes could be seen, but he had to go towards the big orca. Izuku knocks on the door. Can I come in? Come in. Izuku entered, but that imposing voice gave him a small chill. When he entered, he saw the top hero. The great orca had a suit and was giant. Go, I'm glad you accepted my request, with his typical imposing voice. Oh, I'm glad you accepted my request, with his typical imposing voice. 19. Izuku, I'm kidding, I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity to be with my favorite hero. Calm down. The great orca was impressed because people believed him to be a great hero, but no one admired him just for his villainous appearance, but it made him happy that someone with great power and heart like Izuku admired him. Go, hey okay kid, I hope you're ready, since all this week you're going to train and the next we're going to do surveillance. It should be one day training and the other surveillance, but my methods are different. Do you disagree? Looking at him. Izuku, let's do it. Excited. POV Izuku. And so began my week of pure suffering. The training was brutal. It made me move the sand of an entire court, run through the woods collecting enough sand to make a mini city. It helped me to make new techniques, it taught me to polish a new fighting style that made me better for the battle. I also found out that on the 5th day of the internship they attacked the city and some of my classmates handed over Stain. The good thing is that they were able to beat him. He told me that Endeavor helped defeat the Nomus and he kept the credit for Stain so that my classmates would not suffer a penalty. Tomorrow will be my last day of internship. The only thing we did was face villains, and that's how I learned to fight with different battle forms. Honestly, he's a great sensei. Narrator POV. It could be seen that it was an ordinary night, and on top of a roof was a large orca with Izuku on his last night of surveillance. Go Izuku, do you want to come back early today? Looking at the redhead in his hero suit. Izuku, I'm not okay, I just want to finish my internship well. Smiles a little. Go, smiles when he sees his student's performance. Okay boy, continue. He fell silent when he heard an explosion. Izuku, let's go. Jumping. Big Orca and Izuku went at full speed to the place to find a family of 3 parents and a son, all 3 black-haired, and they were being attacked by a guy with a lot of muscles. Muscular, this ends here. Heroes ha ha ha, stretches his arm up to deliver a final blow. Father, I'm sorry family for not being able to stop him, hugging his wife and son. But they didn't feel anything, so they slowly opened their eyes and the 3 black-haired men saw a red-haired man holding a muscular fist with a fist of sand. Izuku, they're okay the 3 of them, I'm glad about it, my sensei is behind you, go with him while I defeated this villain. Calm down. The 3 of them left with Big Orcar, who was watching his students fight. Father, hey hero, great orca, don't you think you should help? Go, my student is very strong, I trust that he will win. Seriously. Kota looked impressed at Izuku. Everyone who knows my stories will know that I do everything possible to save Kota's parents, because Kota, even if he doesn't show it, is a kid who ends up being very popular, so I save his parents and that's it. Returning to the fight, Izuku with the same sand fist pushed his muscle back so that these 2 are looking directly at each other. Muscular, you know you are a very brave boy building more muscles, but you will not win. Izuku, say what you want, I don't care. Seriously. Muscular threw himself at Izuku, but he threw a sand wall at him and then made a sand claw. Who grabbed Muscular and repeatedly slammed him against the ground until he was damaged and embedded him against the ground. To undo the furious muscular claw, he launched himself as he could towards Izuku, but Izuku put his hands on the ground to say. Who grabbed Muscular and repeatedly slammed him against the ground until he was damaged and embedded him against the ground. To undo the furious muscular claw, he launched himself as he could towards Izuku, but Izuku put his hands on the ground to say. Izuku, you shouldn't have made the pyramid so big. Muscular was about to connect his blow with Izuku's face, but a sand came out of the ground defending him and then took him back, making a circle around him. Muscular, what the hell? He couldn't finish as the sand began to rise to enclose him. Izuku turned around without showing any tiredness to see his teacher with a smile and the policeman arriving. Izuku, going like that go, I told you I could against him, calm down. Go, I had no doubts, boy, but let's go and continue for a while longer turning around. Izuku okay following him but Kota talks to him. Kota, hey sir, somewhat embarrassed. Izuku, what's wrong kid? Crouches down to his height. Kota, thank you for helping me and my parents if it hadn't been for you. Interrupted. Izuku, hey don't talk like that, you shouldn't lose confidence over anything, okay maybe you're right maybe not boy, the last thing you lose is hope, smiles. Kota yes with a smile. Go Izuku, let's go, calling him, I know that in the future you will be a great hero, who knows, maybe the best that ever existed, smiles. Izuku, goodbye kid, maybe one day we won't see each other again, who knows, leaves. Izuku and the Great Orca left there to start over, but they only found low-ranking villains, so that they then have to go to the agency since Izuku had to prepare everything to leave tomorrow morning. Time skip. You could see the sky with an orange tint because it was only 8 in the morning, but we did not concentrate on a train station where there was a large orca next to Izuku Ni in civilian mode, and Izuku was about to get on his train. Go, it was a pleasure to have you trained, Izuku, you became much stronger than you were. I congratulate you, stretching out his hand to give him a hug. Izuku, giving him a squeeze with sand in his hand. No, thanks to you for accepting me in your agency and increasing my power. Thanks to you I hope that one day we do not see each other again. Sensei separating from the squeeze. Izuku got on the train, sat down and put on headphones and leaned against the window since he was a little sleepy for the train to start speeding up, and a big orca that saw him leave turned around and left too. POV Izuku. It was good while the internship lasted, they helped me a lot, but now I have to concentrate since tomorrow I go back to classes. I just hope it is not so exhausting since I also have to deliver my gifts to the sellers, and I do not worry about the animals since I never saw those hunters again. How lucky have my companions become? The only thing I know is that for almost a whole week some of them were in the hospital. I think it was just for stupid revenge, according to what Todoroki told me on my cell phone. Narrator's POV. Class 1A could be seen talking about their internships calmly, but Izuku was missing because his house is far away and he takes a little longer than the others who practically live in the schoolyard. Kirishima, while the vigilante stain that fight must have been fabulous with emotion. Melissa, well, I admit it, I was excited at that moment with a smile. Bakugo, I think it was dangerous but I'm glad everyone is okay, smiles. Izumi, I would have done better, you know, rusty blonde annoyed. Todoroki, hey, apologize to her, she's much prettier than your bush head. Melissa blushes. At that moment, before the beatings began, Izuku entered with his calm face. Everyone turned to look at him. Izuku, hi guys, how are you? Calm. Momo, hello. Izu hugs him. The class members were surprised because it was easy to tell that those two were a couple, and Denki, who was with Jiro, gave a thumbs up. Izuku went to sit in his place, but Momo wanted to ask him questions about his internships. Momo, hey Izuku, how much did you improve in your internship? Doubtful. Izuku, let's see how much I improved. Before I could only do 5 techniques, now I increased them to 32. I polished a new fighting style and now I can not only turn my hands into giant sand claws but I can summon them from the ground to defeat my enemies. What a great orca. Sensei made me increase my strength and speed. I leave it simply as if it didn't matter. Everyone was blank as Izuku improved a lot while they only did a little training while the 2 weeks were spent watching. They were going to ask more questions but a wild Aruma Ito appears. All Might, entering. Ha ha ha. Hello everyone. Everyone pays attention very well. Shonen, put on your hero suits. We are going to do a little test to see your skills. I will wait for you in field 2A. See you there. Goes out the window. Everyone left their questions for later and focused on the All Might test, going to the locker room. Time skip. Students could be seen on the field that seemed to be covered in pipes and some buildings. All Might, okay, this is easy, it's a race. You have to take the best route and go jumping or running. There will be 3 students per round, so get ready. With a smile. Students, hey. The races went from 3 to 3, some demonstrated the abilities of their quirk and others how much they improved in their internships, but the last race was between Bakugo, Todoroki, and Izuku. These 3 were at the finish line waiting for All Might's instructions to start. All Might now. Bakugo threw himself into the sky with a powerful explosion going at maximum speed. Todoroki was not far behind. He also used his ice side to rise into the sky and his fire side to propel himself, while Izuku only had his eyes closed. But after a few seconds, Izuku suddenly opened his eyes to see a sand cover him and disappear. Everyone who saw him was confused, but then they saw how a sand at high speed easily surpassed Bakugo and Todoroki, so that they then joined at the finish line, and from there Izuku appeared. After a while, Bakugo and Todoroki had already arrived so that All Might could congratulate them, and then they went to change like their classmates. Time skip. Everyone was in their class waiting for the last hour of the day that Aizawa had to give, but until then everyone was talking. Denki, hey Izuku, how did that sand thing happen? Confused. Kirishima, I have that doubt too, staring at him. Izuku, well, I just turn my body into sand and I can move with the wind or even go faster than it, but it also serves as an attack. Calm down. Todoroki/Bakugo, how he wanted us to beat him, with a depressive aura. Mina, hey guys, did anyone return the suitcases we took to the internships? Screaming so everyone can hear her. All, nope. Izuku, this is weird. First they give us a written test before entering the academy, then they give us a physical ability and quirk test trying to find out what was happening. No, this doesn't make sense. I don't think the UA stole all our things. They know. Calm down. Everyone was going to go to the principal, but Mother Caterpillar appears. Aizawa, okay kids, your questions have answers. Everyone sees that they saw the camp that was going to take place in 1 week. Well, it was understood for today. Everyone goes blank. We were going to do teacher versus student brainstorming, but it was seen that they have improved a lot with their quirks, and we asked for their suitcases so they could go directly to the camp. Some got excited and others were left with the news in their throats. Izuku, they didn't have to ask first. Aizawa sighs. Aizawa, you see, when your parents signed the papers for you to live in the academy, they also did it by passing all your rights to us, meaning that we are like your parents. Everyone is surprised except Izuku. You have to sign that paper, so go to the principal's office. Getting into his bag. Izuku, he told me that I don't have parents indirectly. Well, I don't have them, but being told that hurts. They get up from the chair. POV Izuku. I went to the office to have the tutor document signed, and they told me that after the camp I had to move to UA for the rest of the classes. That mouse caught me by surprise, but it's not like it matters much. Then I went back to the class to see that everyone was waiting for the bus. I ran as fast as I could and arrived, but they told me that they had to wait for Class B. How annoying. We just got back from internships and now we have a camp. And even worse, I left my headphones in my suitcase. This day is going worse than I thought. Narrator POV. You could see how 2 buses were positioned in front of the 2 classes. They understood, and the presidents went to their course to the corresponding bus so that the trip to the camp could begin. On the Class 1A bus you could see the boys talking, but everyone noticed how nervous Izuku was, and not because he was next to Momo but because something was bothering him. Denki, what's wrong, friend? Are you feeling bad? Worried? Izuku, the thing is that I can't travel safely on transport without having my headphones shaking. Everyone on the bus was amazed, as the strongest of his generation was shaking and nervous just being on a bus. Obviously, Izumi saw this with a smile, as she was fascinated to see the one who humiliated her doing this. Momo-ho, calm down. Izu puts Izuku on his lap. He must be sick from sleep. Smiles with a little red tint on his cheeks. Izuku, calming down. He thanks. Momo closes his eyes with a small but noticeable blush. Everyone smiled at the sight of such a scene except for Izumi, who looked away angrily. Time skip. Everyone was getting off the buses confused because this was not the camp. They were still on the road, but they saw a black limousine stopping in front of them. A group of people that almost everyone recognized got out of the limousine. Hello UA students, we are the Witwood Pussycats in pose. Izuku, wow, I didn't think we'd be with veteran heroines. Calm down. Pixie Bod was going to grab his face but couldn't because Izuku's sand protected him. Pixie Bod, I have 18 at heart. Turns around angrily. Izuku, I'm sorry. Bowing. Aizawa, okay, kids, the thing is simple. All you have to do is get to where that mountain is. Points to a mountain that obviously had some cabins. Get there before 9 and they'll be able to eat. Everyone was going to get back on the bus, but Pixie avoids it by causing a landslide. Everyone fell to the bottom except Izuku, who remained floating with his sand. Izuku, floating, doesn't believe what happened this time. Aizawa, you have to take the test anyway, trying to deactivate Izuku's quirk. Aizawa and the Pussycats were surprised to see that Izuku's quirk does not deactivate. Izuku, I doubt that will work, but I will go help my companions. We will see each other going down. Aizawa, what the hell is his power? Serious. POV Izuku. The first test of the pussycats was easy since the pixie golem were made of sand and the only thing I had to do was to undo them to help my teammates. That day was not bad. The training is somewhat easy compared to that of Great Orca Sensei, but I'm happy. Tiger gives me a bad feeling, but since tonight is the last semi of the week, so in 2 days I return home at last, but what a pity that I will have to move to the UA. Narrator POV. The students of Class 1A could be seen in the hot spring since it was a long day of training and this relaxed them. Obviously the baths were not mixed. Kirishima: ha bro, this is relaxing, sinking in the water. Denki: well, if this is the only good thing about the day, a little sore but he relaxes. Ida: I think they are right, wipes his glasses. Bakugo: don't you think you have to take off your glasses? With a drop on the back of his neck. Mineta: who cares? Everyone sees it. Look guys, behind this wall are the tits of the pussycats and our companions. Takes out a ball from his head plus Untra. Climbing the wall. Some tried to stop him but he was already too high, and when he was about to arrive a wall of sand intervened so that it became a hand that grabbed him and took him to the front of. Izuku: if you try something like that again I swear that tits will be the last thing you see. With a deep voice and red eyes. Mineta: if not, I will do it again. On the verge of tears. All of Izuku's classmates were surprised to see him like this since he always showed himself to be someone calm and kind. While the girls would thank him later for it. Time skip. All the students changed and went out to the playground on orders of their teachers. Melissa: hey, do you know why they called us? Doubtful. Kendo: we don't know, I think it's another test. Shrugs shoulders. Todoroki: what do you think? Izuku: seeing that he had his hand on his chin. Izuku: no idea. Calm. Izumi: surely they are more stupid trainings. Ha, and I almost forgot you are dead. Mineta: as soon as I get the chance I will kill you. Annoyed. Before anything else happens, Aizawa and the pussycats arrived. Mandalay: hi guys, happy. Tiger: hello students, and as you know, it's another test. Striking poses. Aizawa: size, the test will be a group test, they will have to face 3 improved Golan, except for Izuku, you will have a special magic wand. He is interrupted by a blow that sent him backwards. Pixie: who are they in pose? Magna: I'm sorry, I think I heard him mocking. Toga Hawaii: look at that redhead, referring to Izuku, I'll have fun with you. Blushes. Momo puts an arm in front of Izuku over my corpse with a vein. Toga: oh, how delicate. Hey, Mustard, it's time, referring to the guy with the mask. Mustang OK starts to throw his gas in front of the classes but is deflected by a smash from Melissa. What no one saw was that Magna separated them all with an explosive device. Magna: very well, send that Nomu to kill the redhead and capture the green-haired girl. I'll take care of the pussycats. Everyone starts to separate like in the original story, only there's no Dabi or Muscular, but there's a weapon to kill Izuku. While this one had fallen and apart far from the others. Izuku: damn, let your guard down, I'd better go help the others. He was about to separate himself in the sand but he had to dodge a very powerful blow from a very rare Nomu. Me, they really thought the villains were just going to appear without having a good weapon. Izuku: what are you serious? Ing, I was created to destroy you. With a somewhat robotic voice. The Nomu launched himself like this. Izuku dodged an attack that was going straight for his face as best he could. He fell to the ground and then made a dome of sand. Izuku: well, that thing is fast and strong, I'll have to use Pyramid. He couldn't finish because his dome was destroyed to send him flying. Izuku fell as best he could on a mountain and then saw the Nomu positioned in front of him. Izuku started to take out a lot more sand. Seeing this, the Nomu launched himself at Asia, but he hit him with a sand claw that came out of the ground. Izuku grabbed the Nomu and crashed him into the mountain. Seeing this, the Nomu launched himself at Asia, but he hit him with a sand claw that came out of the ground. Izuku grabbed the Nomu and crashed him into the mountain. Izuku went to see if he damaged him enough but saw how he was shot out like that. When Izuku saw this, he made a giant fist of sand with his hand to collide with the Nomu. This caused a shock wave to form that made the two of them retreat. When Izuku saw this, he quickly put his hands in the sand. Izuku: pyramid. A large amount of sand surrounded the Nomu so that it then began to rise to form a mini pyramid. Izuku, seeing this, gave it up and turned around to go help his companions, but the Nomu did not give up. Izuku was about to leave but he heard the pyramid being destroyed. Izuku: impossible, gets back into pose. Ing, that was near hero. The Nomu and Izuku launched themselves again to form their fight again. While the others could be seen in Aizawa getting up to find that the camp was a mess, the cabins destroyed, the pussycats fighting with 2 guys, one with gas and another with a strange thing on his back. Aizawa, where are my children? Smile. Pixie, Aizawa, that's great. Help us fight this guy. Don't worry about the students, they outnumber them by a lot. Dodging a blow. Magna, that's all, takes a step back. Spinner Migradano, hey Magna, we lost twice but we have the green-haired girl, come on now, cutting off. Magna, I would like to continue fighting but I have to go. A purple mist covers him and he disappears. Tiger, okay, they've already left now where the students are serious. At that moment Todoroki appears next to a tired Bakugo on his shoulder and both a little hurt. Aizawa, Todoroki, what happened to you? Worried. Todoroki, we were facing a guy with a quirk of very strange teeth. We could have won if it weren't for a fog that took him away. In pain. At that moment many students begin to return and they all say the same thing, that a fog took them away, until Shoji appears with some fainted Tokoyami and Melissa and a guy with black clothes and a mask similar to Deadpool's. Aizawa, what happened to you? Tying up the villain. Shoji, we faced that guy, pointing at twice, but Tokoyami's quirk got out of control. If it weren't for Melissa things would have gotten ugly now. Tsuyu, me, Uraka and Izumi faced the crazy girl and a guy with marbles who took Izumi away pretending to have his fists. Shoji, apparently they multiplied, thanks to the black subject's quirk, but entering into doubt. Everyone realized at the same time who was missing. Everyone, where is Izuku? Meanwhile in the fight, the redhead Izuku hit the Nomu hard that sent him crashing into a mountain, but Izuku was already tired and didn't even know how long he was fighting, and that thing kept going and going. Izuku, I have no other choice, I'll have to kill him, seriously. The Nomu quickly recovered to throw himself at Asia Izuku, who in response grabbed them with his famous claw. Then nail it into the ground and jump to a nearby mountain to charge your best attack. Izuku, Hell Spear. The Nomu broke free from the grip of the sand hand to go against Izuku, but the only thing that Iso did was make a very strange red spear with sand in it. Izuku threw the spear so that it hit the head of the Nomu, who was buried in the ground, so that he then felt a great boom. In Nomu he was buried by his own blood running in the sand, so that the battle would have a winner, Izuku. Time skip. An Izuku with torn clothes could be seen walking from tree to the camp. He had no injuries, but the energy expenditure was more than noticeable. Izuku arrived at the camp to see how they helped his classmates, and the police took twice away. Izuku approached his class as best he could. Izuku, hey guys, weak. Everyone turned around in surprise to see him but quickly went to help him. Izuku, I don't feel well, fainting. All, Izuku,